everybody, welcome back. It's what is today? Saturday.
Saturday, 3rd.
It's Saturday. So Angela's out here picking bell peppers. As everybody knows, we've got plenty of those to get. So I think we're down to 108, 106 plants. So
105. Actually, I came out and one of them was dead.
So 105 bell pepper plants.
Yeah.
We've got Ozark Giant and California Wonder. So as you know, we go through a lot of bell peppers. The young one has a bunch of little baby bells, also mini bells. So you can see them down on the end. But yep. So those are her little snacking peppers. She likes to eat a lot of bell peppers also. So
she does.
So I figured to make a little video here about the harvesting and storing, how we store bell peppers. You know, trying to grow a year's worth of bell peppers for us. So with 105 plants, we're probably going to end up getting at least a half dozen, maybe a half dozen peppers off of each one.
Oh,
at least.
Yeah. So
that's a good goal. And show you how we store a lot of those so that they last until next year when we're harvesting. So we eat bell peppers every day and mostly get cooked, so that's okay. We can store them and we don't have to try to store them you know, somewhere to keep them fresh. We'll show you what we do with them. So this basket has bell peppers, the mini bell peppers. There's some zucchini and apples in there also from the main garden. But today we're just going to be storing the main bell peppers. So these aren't as big as some of the ones we've harvested, but we got the time right now to take care of them. So picking them a little bit small, it doesn't really matter the way we're going to store them. So. Alright, so we had one more stop to make before we go in the kitchen and get started putting up those peppers. We're looking out here in the front garden. You can see this sad little apple tree. This is the one we moved as we cut the garden down in size. So it hasn't had a lot of time to really get a good root structure going. Now, obviously it's growing fine, it's surviving, but and we've tied it up. But it is so loaded with apples, even after the move, that the weight is pulling it over between the wet ground and the winds and everything else. So we're going to go ahead and clean all the apples off this tree and then stake it back up good and get it in a little better shape to get a good root structure going. So we haven't been in a big hurry to mess with it a whole lot because we didn't want to knock these apples off before they were done. I wasn't too worried about the tree being damaged. It's being supported where it's at, but definitely don't want to leave it like this long term at all, even though this gets it down to a good picking level, right?
Yeah.
For somebody your height. So, but we got a peach tree over there. It's kind of doing the same thing. You can see it. What we're probably gonna have to do is put a second stake on these and trying to leave them some freedom to move a little bit. That actually makes for a stronger tree, stronger roots, rather than tying them up so tight that they can't move. But two of these are moving around. I'm kind of surprised that peach tree is. It's been there longer, hadn't been moved, but we need to deal with that too. So, all right, so it's time to cut up some peppers. So, I'm sure everybody has their own way of cutting up peppers. Some cut the top off, reach in, scoop it out. Others you cut it in half. Which way do you do it?
Shoot, I do it. I cut the top off, but I use that part too.
Cut top off.
Yep.
Give me a little bowl for some compost. So all we're going to do is we're going to pre-dice these, and then they'll go on a cookie sheet or sheet pan, whatever, with some parchment paper on it. We'll put several layers of that and then put it in the freezer. So these don't have to be perfect. It's probably driving her crazy that they're not exactly the same. Am I right?
Not really. I mean, a little.
A little. So when I eat it, I don't really care as long as they all kind of get cooked. I like them softened good. I'm not a big fan of fresh bell peppers, fresh onions. But once they're cooked a little bit and softened up good, and especially if they've got a little bit of color on them, I like that. So these with some chopped up mushroom will go in my omelet every morning. Every day. 7 days a week. So, whoops. So they'll all just get put on here.
Just a single layer so they don't freeze together.
Yeah, the key is just not have them laying on each other so that you can break them up. Pour them into a bag. So we'll cover this whole layer, and then we'll put another layer of parchment paper, more peppers, and just keep going. And then one pan is all that has to go in the freezer, and they'll all freeze together, freeze at the same time. And then we'll take the bags, take those and dump it in bags. Show you one. We'll also make little fajita bags. We'll slice peppers and onions both and freeze them. And probably won't do an onion right now. So you can cut it that way. It's really whatever your own preference is, right? Again, it's in a fajita with some good steak meat, a little cilantro,
Or some of our pastured poultry.
or our pastured poultry. So cut up some onion about the same size and freeze them together on the pan, then bag them up together, and then you just cook them together. So we can do a little bit of both.
All right, so these peppers are done freezing. So what I do is I just pull them pretty easy. I just bring the parchment paper up. Try not to make too big of a mess. And I just dump it in my quart freezer bag. Like that.
Real easy.
Yeah, it's so easy. Until you put a camera on you. Anyway, I just fill the bag up. And then they're ready for omelets or whatever you're gonna use them for. So
that's really about all there is to it. And so we'll put up. How many quart bags do we already have in the freezer?
we have 7 quart bags in the freezer just from that last harvest. That
and they're
if
all.
anybody saw it on it, I put it on Facebook and Instagram.
They're all chopped up, diced up like that, about
Yep.
half-inch dice. So that was 100 plus peppers.
Right.
7 bags. A bag will last how long?
I don't know. We typically go, if I'm just making your omelets, I know like big pepper will go through 3 peppers a week.
Yeah.
So
that's 3 peppers a week. We did 100. That's 30 weeks.
Yeah.
So just for my omelets, we should be getting between that and
today's harvest.
we may have a year's worth for my omelets right
We still
there.
have lots of peppers.
And there's
left.
still a lot of peppers.
Yeah.
So we had some people ask, how do we store that many peppers? Why we grow so many? How we store them? And that's what we do. You can find other ways or whatever if you want to pickle them or make chow chow or something like that. Can it. We may have to do that with some of them, but we want to meet our needs from what we buy at the grocery store first. So we buy a lot of bell peppers if we don't have any. every time we go to the grocery store.
And it always hurts that first time you have
Yeah.
to go buy peppers again because
Yeah.
you ran out. From
Yeah, when you run out,
through.
not growing yet, and you buy 8 or 10 bell peppers because we just shop every couple of weeks. So we're going to get set up. This is the most bell peppers we've grown at once in a long time because the needs have gone up versus what we used to eat. So let's try to get to 100% of all of our food, and that's one thing we buy every time. So we gotta meet that need. So, have any questions or comments? Post them in the comments below. And anything else you see in our garden, wonder how we have in large quantities, how we put that up and preserve it. Let us know, and we'll see if we can address that also. So we'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.